Hi, fellow cosmonauts, and welcome to today's Code With Us session. Today, we have planned to go with you a bit through Starport, through talking about the Gravity DEX, and let me show you the walkthrough that we have planned for you today. So today we will be going to, can you see my screen? I hope so. So today we will be creating a new blockchain with Starport. We will create a new token on that blockchain with also a Starport. We will connect the blockchain that we have created with the Cosmos Hub testnet. We will be using the Starport relayer for that. We will send our newly created token to the Cosmos Hub testnet, where we have the so-called liquidity module, where we can create a pool on the Gravity DEX with our new token, and then swap that token using the pool. We will do each of those steps together with you, so you can see how you do it as well. You can also join the website tutorials.cosmos.network. There you will find a variety of different tutorials, and one of them is understanding the liquidity module. So join tutorials.cosmos.network/liquidity-module, and you will find a walkthrough of exactly what we will doing today. And you can do it yourself, or you just try to follow what we're doing in the session. So maybe as a short introduction on what Starport, maybe Denis, you want to talk about what Starport?
Yeah, thanks. Hey, everyone. So let me share my screen just to show you a bit about what we'll be doing in the next hour. So you should be able to see my screen. And the tool we'll be using is, of course, Starport. It's a tool for creating new blockchains. It's very versatile. It has a bunch of features. We're not going to be using, of course, all of them, just the basics. But if you go to github.com/tendermint/starport, you will see a link how to install it. So if you haven't done that already, I recommend to do it right now. So there is a simple command that downloads the script and installs it. So you just paste that into your terminal, press enter, and it will download the binary. The binary includes everything, including, of course, all the Starport functionality, but also Proto-C. So you don't need to install anything. You just need to have a Go 1.16 and that binary. So essentially what we'll be doing is creating a blockchain. And this is super important because the DEX is only useful if you have tokens, right? So, and the way tokens get to the DEX is they travel through IBC and they travel from other blockchains. They, of course, can be blockchains that are currently live, such as Cash or I don't know, even Osmosis or other blockchains that are live right now. But they can also be chains that you launch locally, right? So you can create a chain, you can have your own token locally just on your own laptop, and you connect with a relayer to Cosmos Hub, or in our case, it's a testnet, and transfer these tokens and create a liquidity pool, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. So hopefully that you have Starport installed by now. Alternatively, if you don't want to install it locally, you can actually go through the whole thing with just git-pod. So if you press a link in the repository, you will open essentially a developer environment with Starport pre-installed, and you can go through the whole thing in a browser. So you don't even need to install anything. It takes a while to load, but once it's loaded, it's essentially Visual Studio Code with a terminal window with Starport pre-installed, so you can follow there. So that's pretty much it. Tobias will tell much more on how to proceed, but yeah, that's all in the introduction.
Great, thanks. Yeah, let's dive into it. So this Code with Us session is targeted at developers. So we'll be walking around in the terminal. Don't be scared. You got all the commands also listed in the tutorials that we mentioned. And yeah, follow me and let's see if everything works out as planned. I'll again share my screen. So we've talked about the walkthrough, and let's just start with the first bullet point: is create a new blockchain with Starport. Luckily, Starport makes this easy for us, and I've tried to increase this screen size, so hopefully you can read that. If you want me to increase the font, if you can't read that, just shout in the chat, and we can talk about this. So as you can see, I'm just like on my computer in Tobias. I have a directory for Starport. I created this directory for the Code with Us session today, and in here I have already Starport installed, so I am on the version 0.16.2. That's the latest release. And with that, we can create a new blockchain by typing Starport and the app command. And now we define a GitHub path for that. So for me, that would be github.com/torstev, which is my GitHub handle. And at the end of it, I would define the name of my blockchain application. So today I will be using Pluto, as in the Cosmos sphere. You know, we just love the Cosmos, and therefore a planet just makes totally sense as a blockchain name. And press enter, and now we go into scaffolding mode. Maybe you know from applications like Ruby on Rails or React and JavaScript that with this scaffolding, you kind of get a whole skeleton of a blockchain application. With that, it's fully working once you have used the Starport app command. And this is a full functional blockchain. It is similar to how the Cosmos Hub works. So you probably know in the Cosmos ecosystem, we are working with modules. And there is a lot of official modules, and most of them made it into the Starport scaffold. And as a developer, we would expect you to, with your own transaction type, with your own blockchain logic. Today, we won't go into creating modules because we just want to look into how to create a new token with Starport and then putting this on the Gravity DEX. So let's look at what Starport has scaffolded for us here. I will open Visual Studio Code. And in here, you see the directory Pluto, which has been scaffolded for us. And you see various folders, the app, command. You can read this in the Starport documentation and docs.starport.network, what all this means. In the X directory is usually where I would create my module. Not going into this today, but all we want is create a new token. And we would do this by entering the config.yaml file. So this is the default content as you see in here right now. And I would just create a new user. So I'm creating a new account, looking at the accounts parameter in the config.yaml file. In here, we have two default accounts. One is Alice, the other one is Bob. And we would be creating a third one. I just call this Torch for Tobias Schwarz. We add coins to that account.
Sorry, so, Tobias, sorry for the interruption, but I don't think we can see your screen. I initially thought that this was something with my setup, but looks like we
the whole time you can't see my screen?
No. We saw when you scaffolded the chain, but when you started talking about the config, it stopped for some reason.
Okay, good. I will share it again. Is it back?
Yep.
Oh, well, so let's go into this again. So I will repeat what I've just said. So I have scaffolded my blockchain. I have entered Visual Studio Code. And now in here, I can see the Pluto directory with a couple of folders scaffolded. And as mentioned, but you couldn't see it, in the X directory, we would expect developers to create their own module. We want to do this here, but we enter the config.yaml file. In the config, I'll remove this again so this is the default that we would get. In here, you see an accounts parameter. There is 2 default accounts already created, which are Alice and Bob. And we would add a new account to that. This is simply by creating a new entry with a name. This is the name that we would have added to the keychain. We'll look into this in a moment. And we can define which coins we want this account to have. So I just mimic what Bob has at first. So this is a couple of token, a couple of stake. Those are the 2 default coins. And I would just add my own token. So I'm creating, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 billion Pluto token. And this token now, once I launch this blockchain, is available to the account Tosh. I could create as many accounts as I like into this account's property, and the Pluto token, Starport understands it and will create this token for me. So let's jump into that. So in here, I will go into my Pluto directory, and with the command starport serve, I get my blockchain started. It would tell me if there's any error in my code. It has hot reloading, so it's very convenient for developing your own blockchain. We didn't make many changes, so I would expect it to work out of the box. Maybe, Dennis, you have a comment on what's exactly happening in the background here. It's building the proto files, it's installing dependencies. Yeah,
Starport serve actually does great many things, and right now it's essentially preparing the binary, right? Compiling compiling proto files into Go files, then building the binary and using this binary to initialize the chain, and essentially now it's running.
And it has created 3 accounts for me. So we have seen the Alice account, the Bob account, and the Tosh account, and with according addresses and passphrasers. We have also 3 endpoints that are by default enabled. So most of you maybe know already, that's the RPC endpoint. On 26657, on 1317, it's the API that you would probably use with your application, and we have a faucet running for us. So this terminal window now is quite complete. We will use this passphrase in a bit, but we want to keep it running. So I just put it up somewhere here in the background and just have it running. So this way. So we have created already a new blockchain with Starport. We have created a new token with Starport. So we can take those off already. Now we will go into connecting the blockchain with the Cosmos Hub testnet using the relayer. How do we do that? So historically, how I did that is by typing this Starport relayer configure. This assumes that you already have your own blockchain, and it now asks me a couple of questions. So the source is on my local machine. So therefore, the default is perfect for me. I can just keep it as default localhost 26657. The source faucet is also by default. Now I want the target RPC. We are connecting to the Cosmos Hub testnet. You can find the details of this also in our tutorials page. Here you have a bullet point connecting to a testnet, and this is the testnet what we will be using. In the chapter about the testnet tutorial, you can find the public endpoints of our testnet. In here you have the RPC, the API, gRPC, and the faucet. We'll be using this RPC entry. Don't need to click on it, we just need to copy it. Let's see. So rpc.cosmos.network with port 443. We'll also use the faucet from here. And source gas price, we didn't really set a gas price, and it's our local blockchain. It's only probably do a couple of transactions, so this is fine. With the target gas price, we want to use stake, which is on the Cosmos Hub testnet, the default token for paying fees. the address prefix in the Cosmos network. You might know addresses all have a prefix because we have multiple blockchains. And on our testnet, it's Cosmos. On our source blockchain, it's Cosmos. On our target address, it's also Cosmos. And this is everything that we need to configure our relay. It will create a new account for us. This is in the settings. You can look into the relay settings. There's a passphrase written in there which will take care of relaying transactions. So once you send it from one blockchain to the other, okay, the faucet did not seem to work. So I hope it works for you when you do this walkthrough, or let's just try again. Or Dennis, what would you recommend? We can just send to this address now because I have tokens, and you can the command for requesting tokens from the faucet is actually also written here. So maybe let's try out this one.
Yeah, it actually didn't work for me either. So maybe there's something wrong with the faucet, but let's try doing it manually.
Oh, that seemed to work. Okay, I guess this should be sufficient to have the relayer running. So after configuring the relayer, we need to start the relayer. Let me look at that command right here. How was it? Starboard relayer connect.
Just for some context while it's doing its thing, so Starport relayer actually wraps a TypeScript relayer. So under the hood, a TypeScript relayer is running, and essentially it provides like convenience for users. So instead of configuring it out manually and encountering a bunch of errors, and I mean it's pretty difficult to do if you're not that familiar with how IBC works, with all the parameters. So we try to minimize the amount of configuration you need to do. So it's definitely not recommended to use for production because it wasn't built for that, but it's super handy if you are building an IBC module, right? So if you're building an IBC module, you just scaffold one with a single command. You can add packets, and you can start two blockchains at the same time, connect them with a relayer, send packets between them. And yeah, it's super convenient. So if you are interested in IBC and building modules with IBC, then I strongly recommend going through the IBC Hello World tutorial. It's very simple. It just creates two blockchains, sends text between them, and after you finish that, I also recommend the DEX tutorial. It's much more advanced. It will take at least, I don't know, 3-4 hours, but oh yeah, looks like it's connected. Go ahead.
Yeah, that looks good. What you see here is my Pluto blockchain and the Cosmos Hub testnet are now connected. Those channels are an index. So on my local Pluto blockchain, I haven't done a single IBC connection to another chain yet. That's why it starts at index 0. And on the Cosmos Hub testnet, there seem to have 25 connections been done before. So we are the 27th connection, including 0, that makes a connection to this blockchain. We need to have this window running. So I will create a new tab. Oh no, this is not what I wanted. Put this out. We'll put this in the background. We can look into this when we are making our first IBC transaction and see how that works. So with creating our Pluto blockchain, we now have the Pluto D binary installed on our computer. And this is what it looks like. It's a Stargate Cosmos Hub application. It has all the functionality that you already know from the Cosmos Hub. We didn't add anything. So yeah, this is basically the commands that we need for basic blockchain. Now what we want to do is create an IBC transaction. We want to send it to the Cosmos Hub testnet. How we do this is we use our Pluto D binary. We create a new transaction, and now we are using the IBC transfer module. So this is included for a couple of months now. We are very happy to have it. This is how we send token from one blockchain to the other. So I'm going to send token from my Pluto blockchain to the Cosmos Hub testnet. Now we are going to use transfer, and we have to tell which channel we are using on our Pluto D. That says channel 0, and we need to tell to which account we are sending. We are sending to the same account that we have created with Tosh. So we have the passphrase for that, that's written here, and we can access it the same way on the Cosmos Hub testnet. So we're sending to this account on the Cosmos Hub testnet, and now we are defining the amount that we are going to use. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are going to send 1/10 of the Pluto that I have available on my local chain, and we're going to define on the keychain from which account this is coming. So let's try this out. And it gives me a confirmation. Now I can kind of look into all those details. I'm confident that I put in the command in the correct way. So I'm confirming this, and I'm saying yes. Now I should see in the relay below here. So let's close this for now to make it a bit more seeable. So this is relaying my packet from Pluto to the Cosmos Hub testnet. And now I'm waiting for acknowledgement. So this is that the other chain has accepted the transaction, and this looks as expected. It has acknowledged the package on the Cosmos Hub testnet. So now we can start querying this account. So let's make this a bit smaller. I hope you can all see that well, and bring back up this so we can clear, because it all worked fine. And let's query the balance on our blockchain. How's that? So, on the Cosmos Hub testnet, I should mention this. We have the Gaia D installed liquidity module. You will find this installation in the tutorial. And so if we look into the tutorial and let's search for liquidity / GitHub. Yeah, in here you can find requirements. And how to install the Gravity DEX binary on your computer. This is cloning github.com/bharvest/gravitydex, CDing into it and make install. Then you can, if you use Gaia D version, you will see that we are on 1.0. Maybe actually, let's see if I have the right. Let's have liquidity. Maybe I actually installed meanwhile a different version because I was testing out something. Let's see if we have liquidity in here. Yeah, we do have liquidity. Okay, that's perfect. So now we want to query the balance of my account. Gaia D query bank balances of the account that I've chosen. And since I do not have the whole blockchain state installed on my local machine, I need to configure the node where I want to get these information from, and I'm using this command. So I'm using /node rpc.testnet.cosmos.network and port 443. And it now tells me I have, as we've sent, well, how much is this? 100 million IBC / this denom. And this is what we're looking here is an IBC denom. And you can query and decode this denom and it should be resulting in Pluto if you're going these steps. I'm not going into how to look into daemons and how to kind of decipher them. Maybe that's reserved for another session. We'll be just using what we see here. So next step is now we have my Pluto token on the Cosmos Hub testnet, and now we want to create a pool. Actually, what I forgot, two things. We need to also be able to access this account with the GaiaD. So we need to add the account to the keychain also with GaiaD. So we do this GaiaD keys add. So we call this torch, and we recover the mnemonic that we've been given by Starboard. So this is how this works. And now we can see, okay, the address is the same, so it imported the correct account. And from here, I can start accessing this account with GaiaD. The second one is we probably need some more tokens. Also on this account, we might use the faucet, but the faucet really does not give me enough tokens in order to create a pool, but we want to create a pool with our token. So I'm going to send tokens from another account, and so we will use the command GaiaD TX Bank send tokens. And I have just called this bigger account because that's an account of mine that holds a bigger sum of stake and UPhoton. So let's first send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stake. We have to specify chain ID, which is Cosmos Hub testnet, and also the node that we are connecting to. So this is HTTPS RPC testnet Cosmos.network, and also gas prices, which are 0.05 stake, as we have looked before. This did not work. What did I? Oh, I forgot the port in the node. So this is 443. Okay. Maybe I should also send not only stake but UPhoton, which is the other. We get those both by default when using the faucet. Okay, let's look again at the balance that I have at my account. Now, maybe the second one didn't go through yet. So we can see stake and IBC, but not yet UPhoton. This is maybe a good time to also look into an explorer. So MintScan has added the Cosmos Hub testnet, and luckily I have the link to that at hand. So this is Cosmos Hub-testnet.mintscan.io/Cosmos Hub testnet, and we can see all the transactions in here. We see this failed. Why this is did this fail? Because I don't have that much. So how much do I have? 3, 6. So I could send, instead of 100 million, I probably have to reduce this to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope this works. And let's look into the transactions again. And now hopefully see this popping up here. When I'm too quick with all this, just tell me to slow down a bit. But now you can see that this transaction was a success. So we have also now connected the blockchain with the Cosmos Hub testnet using the relayer, and we have sent the new tokens to the Cosmos Hub testnet and funded our account with all the tokens that we have available. Now let's go on to create a pool on the Gravity DEX with our new IBC token that we have in our balance. So I can clear this again and create a pool. The command for this is GaiaD TX Liquidity create pool. And the one is, we will probably have various versions on how pools will be run. This is version. Let's quickly look into the documentation, how it documents. So pool type, create pool has, we add a pool type, we add the coins that we are planning to deposit. So again, Gaia D, let's clear this. Gaia D, TX, liquidity, create pool, version 1, and we want to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stake. And let's use the same number of our IBC token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I forgot the denomination actually. We have to once more look into what's the denomination. So let's query the account, and this is how it looks like. I actually have to add this whole denomination now into adding the pool. So this is how this looks like. We have stake and we have our IBC denomination. And we're going to say this is coming from Tosh. Our chain ID is Cosmos Hub testnet. Gas prices are 0.025 stake. Our node is, as we have used before, HTTPS, RPC, testnet, Cosmos.network, port 443, and we want to say how much gas we want to use. So let's just use a high sum of gas because we want to go this through, and that's all that we need. Oh, something went wrong. The number of deposit coins must be 2 in pool type 1. Oh, this is 2. Oh, maybe. Let me look into the tutorial of this format again, how this looks like. We have this at the very end of the tutorial. But this seems to be correct. It needs to be 2. Maybe I don't need to add the IBC. 2. What's going wrong? Oh, maybe I should separate them by comma and not by slash. So this must be the problem, because else it sees 2 slashes. So let's use this again and now make a comma, because sure, this should be the separator of the different coins that we are using. Now confirming the transaction, and we get a transaction hash, and let's see on the Explorer if this worked now. We have all my failing transaction before, and with the DO amended, it also failed. So let's look into this. Insufficient coin balance. What coin balance is not correct? Let's also look into this. So I have how much stake? 3.6. This should be enough. 3.6. How much did I input? 3.6. I should. Oh, way too much. 8. So in order to hopefully make it work, I'll just decrease the numbers by tenfold, and hopefully this will be sufficient in order to create our pool. So we got the transaction hash again. We can look into the Explorer if that worked now. And let's hope it did. Nope. Insufficient. Oh, my screen share did abort again. Why is this happening? Until when did you see my screen? Did someone?
Yeah, I think it was fine up until like the last.
Okay, perfect. So I have still not enough balance for pool creation fee. So how much fee does it consume? Very tiny 22,500 stake. How much stake do I have? 3, 6. Maybe I'm just sending more stake and see. So I can use this command that we've used before, send stake. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stake. Should be sufficient, hopefully. Now wait a couple of seconds for the next block coming in, and hopefully we'll have enough funds to now create my pool. I want this pool now live. Maybe it's because of the exceeding gas that I'm using. Maybe I have to reduce the gas now. Yes, this one worked. We can now see the create pool transaction, which is with my denom that I've defined, and with the amounts that I've input with denom and stake. So you've seen the problems that might arise with creating a pool, and you've hopefully seen a couple of debug solutions and what might go wrong. An Explorer mostly helps to see what the error messages is. So we have created the pool on the Gravity DEX with our new token. Let's now look into querying all those pools and see how our pool looks like. I don't have this command at hand. We have to find this out together. So this is now guy ID query. Let's see what we have. We have query liquidity. So we're going to look into query liquidity. And now we have query for all liquidity pools. And now we need to make sure we are using our node again. I'm just copy pasting this information now. You've seen me typing in this various times. So what we want is chain ID and our RPCs. So chain ID, Cosmos Hub testnet, and our node is RPC testnet Cosmos Hub network. And in here we see we have 7 different pools, and the last pool that has been created has this IBC denom that we've seen before, and it's paired against stake. And now, Denis, maybe you want to get some pool token if you have stake, and get some, it wasn't called pool, it was Pluto token if you have stake. Or did you already walk through this with me and create your own pool where you're at, Denis?
Yeah, I'm actually at the step where I'm creating a pool and it's not creating for me. So maybe you can help me debug the problem.
Yeah, do you want to share your screen or?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So you should be able to see my screen. And this is essentially my account, right? I should have enough stake, uphoton, and this is the command I'm running. All right, so I'm creating a pool with uphoton, which is like 1,100,000. Should be enough, right? And 1,200,000 of IBC tokens. This looks good. Maybe that's too much gas. Maybe that's
it's a lot of gas.
Oh. Nope, still only 7 pools. Wondering what's the problem.
You can check on the Explorer. I can post the link also in this chat, so people that might want to see on the MintScan Explorer why things are going wrong.
Insufficient balances for pool creation fee. Looks like I don't have enough. After all, maybe I need to change gas prices. Can fail. Insufficient balances. That's interesting.
Did you create your pool against stake or UPhoton?
UPhoton. Yeah. Maybe I should try stake.
Whatever you have plenty of. I think, like, how many do you have? I think 1 with 6 zeros is also the minimum amount that you have to input into a pool at the beginning, because most of the time, what we see here now are backend values, kind of. And if you would compare this with the Cosmos Hub, we have U atom, and one with 6 zeros, U atom would equal to 1 atom. And that's the case for most of the currencies. And that's why they've said at least 1 atom needs to be initially in the pool to get started. It's a very low number, actually. And but yeah, you need to fund it with a couple of tokens in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm using more than 1 million tokens for each, but it doesn't look like it's working. Can you send me your command that you used, just so that I can compare and see what's the problem? I mean, we can swap from my account. That's also a possibility, right? I can use your pool to swap for your tokens.
Where should I send it? In this chat?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is with my my setup in here for everyone to see, and you would have to change the IBC denom and the from account that I'm using.
Okay, let's use my token hash. From Denis, stake gas. Interesting. Maybe I don't have enough balance on my local chain.
So we only have 15 minutes left, close to 15 minutes. Let me make a swap and then go into Q&A session. I think creating one, you need to do the swap. I already have Pluto token. So let me give you the command for the swap. Maybe you have it at hand already.
Yep, I'll just use the one from the tutorial.
Perfect. You need to add a price when trying to swap. As I've input the same amount of stake as I did with Pluto, the price of the token should be 1. And for everyone who's interested in tokenomics, the price is discovered by 1 token divided by the other. It's simple and straightforward. So when you have 1 million of one token, 1 million of the other token, 1 million divided by 1 million equals 1, and therefore the price is 1. And
okay, so sorry, go ahead.
No. The price should be just behind, I think, just after the denomination.
Okay, so I'm using 0.1.
No, it's 1. It should be 1, yeah.
Okay. This looks right. Let's see if it worked. Still fails. Should I be using the reserve coin?
What did you use UPhoton or stake?
I used UPhoton.
Yeah, it must be stake. I've created the pool of stake.
Oh, I was busy creating my pool to keep track of that. Let's try again.
Did you add the according IBC token also to this command? Because you want this Pluto IBC hash, I can send this to you as well. So this would be, I'm adding it here to the chat. You want to swap stake for this IBCD?
Yeah, I used
okay.
that. I used that. Again, maybe. Does not match reserve coin of the pool.
Demand coin is, I see something with 2 IBC. If you look into the Minscan Explorer, you can see below at the bottom, you can see it's 2 IBC, twice IBC written in there. Maybe that's the mistake.
Yes, that's correct. That's a very silly mistake. I mean, you can't have too much IBC. Still looks like it's failing.
But Denim looks good. Stake is also correct. It's hard to read your screen, to be honest.
Too small?
Yeah, that's a bit better. But I can't increase it. I have this probably being live window.
Okay, still failing. Does not match reserve coin of the pool.
Can you give me the command that you're using so I can better look at that?
Sure.
But I meant the swap command.
Oh, did they send you create pool? 1 second.
Okay. Can you use price 1? You've used 0.1.
Yeah, I tried 1 and 0.1
okay.
as well. I mean, maybe you can, like, if you have some success with it, maybe you can swap for in a different pool. Tobias?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes, I can use a different pool just to kind of show how this swap is supposed to look like. We have understanding the liquidity module. We'll go right to the bottom of this tutorial, and in here you find the swap token command, and I have my account Tosh in here, but I do have, let's see which pool we want to be using, because there is one pool already available which has stake and UPhoton, but I have both of those tokens. There is also one pool, let's see, pool ID number 1. This has a reserve IBC Denim coin, which is called this 5800, and it's a coin called Tuesday, which I've created, I think, last week Tuesday. So let's just execute on that one. So what we'll do is Etx Liquidity Swap. We will be swapping. What do we want? We have here.
Tobias, can you please share your screen?
Okay. Wondering why this exits without asking me. Where do I have the window now open? Okay, can you see this? Yeah. So in here I have the query of all the different pools. We have pool ID 1, and this is the first pool created on this testnet, and we have this IBC reserve coin denom, which equals to a coin that a token I've created last week for testing. It's called Tuesday, and it goes against UPhoton. And as I will be using this command, as we've seen in my balances before, I just had Pluto tokens, and now I'm trying to do the same with this Tuesday IBC token. So what I'm going to do is I request just a small amount of UPhoton, and I want to go into this Tuesday IBC token, which looks like this hash. The price for this is, I think, I have this somewhere calculation. So the price should be somewhere around 1.15. This is the P cost. We have 0.003 from my Touch account. Chain ID is Cosmos testnet. Gas prices are 0.05 stake. And the last parameter that we also need is the node, the RPC, testnet Cosmos network. And hopefully this transaction is making it through. And let's look into. So this worked. This is swap within batch, and now we should see this IBC demand coin denom in my wallet. So let's check my balance. I've used this before, and what a coincidence! Oh no, it's CUV, not CW. We could code with us. Ending this account on code with us would be amazing. But now you see this Denim 5800C, etc. on my balance. This is the Tuesday coin, which I've just bought on the Liquidity DEX. I've received 1,150 of this for my 1,000 Photon. So this is with the price of 1.15. And I guess this concludes the swap using the pool. So sadly, we couldn't swap the new token that I've created. But anyway, this is a walkthrough of more or less creating a coin on your local blockchain, first creating a new blockchain with Starboard, then creating a new token with Starport, connect the blockchain with the Cosmos Hub testnet using the relayer. We've sent the token to the Cosmos Hub testnet. We've created a new pool on the Gravity DEX with that new token. So anyone watching or looking at this later can also try to get some of the Pluto token that I've created today. And we have swapped a token using the pool. And therefore, yeah, that's all that we wanted to do, and took us an hour. We have a couple of minutes left. So if there's any questions around this, feel free to ask them in the chat. And maybe we could even take someone into this call if someone is brave enough to come online here and show himself or herself and ask a question. So feel free to do that.
I actually see one question already, and it's, let's say I have a chain successfully connected, whether a testnet or not, and I have done a few transfers in and out. What happens if I disconnect, reset my chain? That's actually a great question. So if you create a chain and it has tokens and you send these tokens to Cosmos Hub, let's say, right, and then you turn off your chain like Tobias did with his chain, because it's not a network, right? It's running just locally from a single machine. The tokens that you transferred are still on Cosmos Hub, right? Like these IBC vouchers are still on the hub. They can be exchanged. You can do whatever you want with them. They're not native, but they pretty much have all the properties of native coins. The only thing you can do is you can't redeem them back for native tokens of the chain because it has been shut down. So it's similarly to like a faucet, right? You can consider this this ephemeral chain as a sort of a faucet that sent tokens and then it just disappeared. And actually with IBC, you don't even need to have the chain on the other side. So it can be a solo machine that just has consensus state. It has kind of the properties of a chain, but it's not really a chain. So that's also a possibility. But of course, people who will be using this token will not be able to redeem anything because that's no longer possible. The chain is down. But yeah, that's a great question.
And I've also seen the question about sending all the commands that do work, but in the tutorials they are listed, and there shouldn't be anything wrong. So just go through the tutorial, and this should be working fine. If not, it's all open source. Connect with us on Discord. You'll find us on the Cosmos Discord. I'm Tobias Schwarz on there, just as you see my name, and Denis also there. Ping us, and we are happy to support you and help you out in case anything goes wrong, and also adapt the tutorial if there's anything wrong on there. Not sure why the swap didn't work out for Denis today, but we'll have to look into these commands later.
Well, it just shows that sometimes stuff doesn't work, so you have to retry it again and see what happens. Maybe I did something wrong. Like that's a possibility, but you can always delete your chain. You can reset relayer state, try again. Yeah.
And
play with it.
We will upload a recording of the session to YouTube, so feel free to watch it there. Just follow us on on Twitter or on various social channels. Look into the Telegram groups of the Cosmos Hub, and you'll see everything that's coming up and the uploaded videos. So this concludes the hour we have set for the session. Thank you everyone for joining in. I hope to see you next time as well. And if you have any wishes on what we should be covering in the future, just give us a shout out on Twitter or Discord or Telegram, and we'll listen to you. And if there's demand for any session, we'll go through that with you together. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.